Wait, what? 2 reactions in one day? Oh yes. Oh yes, because today I have discovered something. So, I used to work for the video game industry for a long time. And then I left. And one of the reasons I left is clarified very, very clearly in this video. Now I'm going to react to it, and then I'm going to need to try and figure out a way to temper my temper as this plays. Word to the warning, especially to any people who are watching who are younger. Don't watch this. This is like adult content. It's adult content that apparently YouTube has no problem with. Don't know why, but it's adult content nonetheless, in my opinion. So, here goes.
Here, for you, a gift of future color and joy.
So for context, this is the new Assassin's Creed from Ubisoft. Now, Ubisoft is a company that hasn't made anything acceptably decent since FarCry 3, I think. That's at least my opinion. No, I'm not into new video games, couldn't be bothered. I can't stand all of the connectivity stuff and always having to be online or anything like that, so it's not for me. I'm not the audience, okay? But I need to set the stage. So the game is a game about assassins, and it takes place in feudal Japan, I think, or something. Right. And of course, because this is the modern day, everybody's very inclusive and everything. So you're about to witness a homosexual scene between 2 males, and then later there's a homosexual scene between 2 females. Now, I've got lots of comments about that particular thing, and I particularly care about the fact that it's homosexual. It just happens to be this way, and I just think it better describes the point I'm trying to make. Now, what they try to do in this particular product is very evident. I think they're following what they were attempting to do in Assassin's Creed 2. So, in Assassin's Creed 2, the protagonist is what the whole game is set in Tuscany and Rome, in central Italy. And so one of the things that they did as an option is they gave you the option to switch the language to Italian in the spoken dubbing, and then you would play with subtitles. I think in this game they tried to make the characters sound Japanese in English, which is ridiculous. Last I checked, I thought it was called cultural appropriation to do something like this, or whatever it is that these fools come up with in terms of fake words that don't exist and fake things to be outraged by. But the irony is that then they generate real outrage, because this is being discussed apparently in the Japanese parliament. Well, I'll talk about this context a little bit more later. Point is, you will now hear people talk in a way that no human talks. That's because all writers apparently have all left Ubisoft and every other place, and they've gone to, I don't know, write something else somewhere else, because this can't be real. The entire game is satire. So let's hear what they have to say.
Blue anemone seeds. I had hoped to find a brighter blue arpeggio, but
if you're wondering why there's a black dude somewhere in Japan, don't know, live with it. Well, welcome to history revisionism in full force.
these were hardy. They will grow well, wherever you plant them.
What a thoughtful gift, Yasuke. I don't know what to say.
Really? I do not think I have ever seen you quite so tongue-tied.
Not yet, at least.
I don't think I've ever seen you quite so tongue-tied, not yet at least. Wow. I'm no writer. One of my kids is trying to learn how to write. She's writing a fair bit. But if somebody wrote a dialogue and the first sentence essentially sounds like it came out of Oscar Wilde's mouth, and then the next sentence came out of Oscar Wilde's mouth, and the next sentence came out of Oscar Wilde's mouth, and then the next sentence came out of Oscar Wilde's mouth, I would feel somewhat taken aback. I would think this is not realistic dialogue. Tongue-tied, meaning quiet, and tongue-tied meaning French kissing, I suspect. It's false. Like this would never occur. Not just because of the scenario, but nobody talks this way. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I'll explain later how big video game companies work a little bit more in detail within the limits of what I'm allowed to say, but contractually. So, anyway.
I hope you aren't easily chilled.
I hope you aren't easily chilled. I genuinely don't know what it means. Like for $1,000, I wouldn't be able to tell you what the heck this character has just sent. Maybe I'm missing some kind of nothing but my genius, Oscar Wildeism, aphorism, because these people only talk in aphorism. Who writes this? Who is the utter moron who wrote this? And even better, I suppose I'll explain how this works. Who are the ridiculous technical writing directors, project managers, and so on and so forth that approved this? And also, who is the poor engineer who had to go together and put this put this together? I mean, this is insane.
Do you think someone might see us?
Maybe.
Do you care?
Also, what happened to mocap? Is this not mocap? Because it doesn't look like it. For the people who don't know, mocap is short for motion capture. It's basically a technique used where real humans wear suits with sort of light bulbs all over them, and as they move, their movements get tracked and then transferred into a 3D humanoid rig, we refer to it. So basically they become animation files, and then they need to be refined, and that's how normally cutscenes, which is what this is, so films in a video game get played. And this doesn't look like it. It looks very mechanical, and all of the characters look like they're moving like they've been manually animated, which I don't have a problem with. It's just that it looks very uncanny valley. It looks very fake, particularly in this moment, the facial expression of, I suspect that's one of the main characters or something. I'll never know. I'll never buy anything from PooBeSoft, so it's not a problem.
Not at all.
Look, they look like they're made out of plastic. It's terrible. This is 2025. I can think of any Naughty Dog game from the PlayStation 3 era looking 50 times better. Why am I seeing this? Okay, so that ends that scene. So we've been spared partially. We're about to get the worst one of the two. So, yeah. Anybody who's tempted to call me a prude, you know nothing. So, now with that said, I definitely think that moments of private exchanges should remain private. I don't want to be a voyeur, which Ubisoft is forcing me to be. I mean, if I had bought the product, which I haven't, but and I won't, because it's trash. You can tell straight away. So anyway, now we move on to this scene, and in this scene we're gonna have the other protagonist, which I think is a female, and once again, be warned for the ones weak of stomach. Stuff is coming. So no nudity, mind you, but disgusting stuff is coming. So let's see now what occurs and how they speak, because this is also an aspect I want to cover.
Where is your revered father? A province away. Now, what was so important I had to meet you here? You're a clever woman. Guess.
It's so on the nose, so unsubtle. That's only a virgin thinks people flirt this way. So you've never seen the real deal, have you, Mr. and Mrs. Ms. Writer? This... when you have adult children working. Let's not be neither. How about that?
I'm guessing it's lust?
Huh? Who speaks this way? This is hilarious. I mean, I guarantee to you that this is on purpose, to make them sound Japanese. I mean, they would have only made it better if they made it even more extreme. Oh yeah, what makes you think this? Oh, lust. Oh, rust. Oh, naruhodo. Oh, nani? That's what they're doing. I thought they were supposed to be sensitive. That's what they're doing. Okay. Let's channel our Japanese spirit as probably Quebecois white men with purple hair.
Lust is a journey of 1,000 steps.
Who talks this way? This is insanity. Who approved this? Alright, I'll take a break here because otherwise I'm going to lose my mind. So, in a large video gaming company, you have thousands of people. All of these people do certain specific jobs. Very, very, very specific. Like, there will be people that, you know, will do one menu. Or that sort of thing. I'm exaggerating a bit, but that's kind of the principle. So frequently you'll find that people don't really know exactly what others are doing, etc. Then the various project managers and producers need to help each other communicate to sort of figure out who does what and when and how and why. Right? It's very, very difficult to make a product like this because it's enormous. So you need loads of people. Okay? Now, with that said, what this also means is that whenever there's a design decision taken, it's not like for an indie, for an independent developer, right? The independent developer just sits down, goes, hey, myself, do I agree with myself that I want to implement this thing? Yes, no, maybe, right? And that's the decision-making system in an independent development scenario. In a large company, it's totally different. You have a whole chain of command with a bunch of people, and person A needs to propose something to person B, etc. This was vetted. This was vetted by, like, seriously important people. Okay, this isn't just the writers who have issues. This is everybody involved.
That begins with a kiss.
Oh, of course. I do like also the Foley and all of the sound effects that are present there. We've got the little music in the background, etc. Like, this was meticulously scripted, etc. I mean, the sounds are all off because the sounds of the lips making contact, that sort of stuff, are way louder than they would be, etc. It's so gross. This is such a private moment. It's supposed to be tender and private between two individuals. This is not romantic. It's in no way romantic. This is soft porn for repressed minds. This is terrible. This is what a 13-year-old thinks. A flirting leading to infatuation, leading to togetherness process looks like. It doesn't. This is not how anything looks like. And it's not compacted for the sake of film or video game in this case. That's not the point. For example, the previous scene we saw was at least slightly less disgusting than this. I don't want to look that way, because I'm not supposed to watch this. This is not for me to enjoy. It's for them, theoretically. Also, again, everything is animated so incredibly terribly. I see it with the corner of my eye. On top of it, they are in armor. They are on the side of what looks like a river, I presume. Okay, in winter. And, of course, that's what we used to do when we were teenagers and get together with a girl or this sort of thing. We would just, we would just engage openly right here. I mean, there's a ship over there. Actually, wait, I need to point the wrong direction. So there's... I can't. Anyway, imagine it. Imagine my fingers pointing at the ship. So there's the ship. Then there's like the buildings and everything like that. There's lights, etc. We could go hide behind that rock over there, right? Between those two rocks or do something. Nah, that's too much work. Too much work. Yeah. Just in the middle of everything. So we can have this beautiful shot of somebody literally passing by and going like, "Ugh, what are you doing?" and just walking away. Or chucking rocks at you or something. These are writers. These are the writers, the directors, everybody. Everybody involved is complicit in making this. I want everybody to be aware that this is how this works. Oh, wait. This one has a conclusion.
I've wanted that for a while. It's good to be together.
They talk like animatronic robots, both aesthetically and in what they say. It's good to be together. Do you agree? Yes, I do. Do you? Yes, I do. Okay, sounds good. Love is like a long journey of 1,000 steps. Potatoes, strawberries. Oh, sorry, I read the wrong bit of the script.
Yes, together. Forever?
Oh wow, did you notice the music gets interrupted? I wonder if whoever did the video sort of cut it. That's quite funny. Yes, forever, nothing lasts forever. I'm already taken. What do you mean you're already taken? This historical revisionism. I mean, of course, extramarital activity would occur in the past as well, of course. But it was a complicated affair. At least that's my understanding. You would need to really keep it to yourself. It wouldn't be this nonchalant, right? But I'm already taken as a sentence. It's a lie as well. It's obviously, right? I mean, if you were already taken, you wouldn't be doing this, or would you? Oh no, don't worry about it, we're polyamorous. Why do these modern writers, why do they have no capability at all of actually sort of attempting to imagine how it must have been in the past? Why are you projecting the present into the past? I wasn't there either. But this is seedy, it's awful, it's terrible, you suck. Whoever wrote this, you suck. And if anybody hires you again, they're an idiot. They suck too.
Forever is a long time. But we can try. All I ask is a lifetime.
Oh, beautiful. Or I ask. They did it. They did what I did before. Or I ask. That's what they did. They did it. Can you imagine being there with the voice artist going like, yes, no, the way you pronounce it is pretty good, but I want you to sound more culturally insensitive. Could you do it? Could you actually parrot the way they sound a bit better? Let's get Van Dyke here, see if he can do a better Irish accent so you can get in the mood. All I ask is a lifetime or two. Oh.
2.
The sounds as well. What's going on? These repressed people. You have never seen a man or a woman or a camel for that in real life, for that matter. That's what kissing your own puppy or your own cat does to you. I don't think you understand how anything works.
I'll see you at home.
What an expression. Okay, so it's over. Oh, thank goodness. Wow. This is modern gaming. You know, bring back Quake 3. Best of luck to you. So, now, I also want to touch on something else, which is the historical revisionism. So, apparently, there's nothing to react. Wait, let me put a picture. I want to find a still frame that looks absolutely revolting. There's gotta be one. I want it more revolting. Yeah. There's the point in which he goes, There, this one. There you go. Brilliant. Okay, so that's the still frame we're gonna pick to talk about this. So, the historical revisionism that's taking place right now is staggering. Not only is it happening on a factual basis, meaning theoretically what is known from books and everything is clearly being changed, right? With whatever excuse, this has been underreported, or seedy stuff was happening all the time, etc., etc. Last I checked, history is about important events. Sexual intercourse is not important in any scenario. It would be important for people in high aristocracy in order to produce heirs, and that's about it. Of course, also for people of different classes. But at the time, there would have been classes, I assume, in Japan. Definitely. Anyway, so at least based on what I know. But that's the thing. All of this stuff is making you question everything you've known, or you've read, or you've studied, or that you've studied, or stuff. It's really insidious. It's absolutely dreadful. And it's got plenty of this recoloring the past. This is quintessentially Orwellian. Like, all of the writers at PooBeSoft are Winston. That's what they're doing. They are sitting down and they're saying, okay, so this happened, and it was loads of burly dudes chopping each other's heads off, right? Therefore, replace burly dudes with 50 million women everywhere for some reason. The burly dudes, replace them with homosexual camp people. All of the Japanese warriors, replace them with blacks. No one knows why, but whatever. This is crazy. Even if there may have been a case of one documented black person sort of being a warrior, I think there is something about that. But who knows? Because we live in an era of faked information and faked history. It takes nothing to go to your AI engine of choice and ask it to create a historical document that looks visual, so graphical, that looks like it belongs in the period, that contains whatever subject you please, that contains Pikachu. You could do it. So it's very, very difficult to do this. It's a re-educational attempt. So it's not just, but we like this type of content and we do it. So that's point number one. By the way, this has also been apparently discussed in the Japanese parliament for being culturally insensitive. And this is an aspect I want to touch on. All of these idiots that are trying to do this, because they're doing it out of stupidity, they're not doing it out of malice, though I don't think that the two can be distinguished meaningfully. Okay, they are doing it with the implicit benefit of being Westerners, and they have no freaking idea. Because they don't travel. And by travel, I don't mean go visit Paris, take a couple photos, then go back home. That's not what I mean at all. I mean go and live in different places. When you move and live in different places, you learn to behave differently in different areas, because something called a custom or a culture exists. For example, when I first went to England to work, all of my colleagues used to make jokes about each other's mothers. Right now I came from the Balkans. And in the Balkans, this is a no-no. It's a very, very, very big no-no. Maybe things have changed today. I don't know, haven't been for a while. But it was a no-no, right? And for my Balkanic ears, hearing that was very strange. I had to adapt to how they behaved, right? And I had to learn to accept that I'm in this particular context and this is how I behave. Now, the English culture, the Western culture, generally speaking, let's call it Anglo-Saxon culture, Anglophone, there you go, where they speak English, essentially, is very, very, very liberal from this perspective. And I mean liberal in the old sense, not in the modern sense. And it's also very irreverent. It is one of the reasons why I like it as much as I do. And I suspect why everybody likes it as much as they do, including the fools that did this. Because it allows them to be culturally, historically irreverent towards anything, because there's freedom of speech, so you can do and say whatever you want. But the moment in which you go into the Japanese culture and try to promote a pseudo-Japanese document, essentially, right, that's based in historical accuracy, and they aren't quite as tolerant, and they may take offense. It's my understanding, for instance, that there were some destructible objects that were highly sacred to the Japanese culture, and they have been made non-destructible in a patch, probably day 0 patch, straight away, right? That sort of thing. And you know, other cultures aren't anywhere near as tolerant as this, for the better and for the worse, for the positive and negative that this brings with it. The thing is, you're stupid, uneducated, ignorant in every sense, both culturally and factually, self, Mr. or Mrs. or Ms. writer, okay, you're not even aware that you're benefiting or enjoying this level of liberty. You can say and think and do whatever you want, and nobody's going to bother you. But now you're going somewhere else, and now people are going to bother you. For example, when you did Assassin's Creed 2, right? I remember a scene, now this has been a long while so I may be quoting it wrong, right? But this was already happening there, and at the time it was more funny than anything else. But Ezio, the protagonist, at some point asks another character where his sister is. And he says, "Dov'è mia sorella?" Like this, right? Because Italians, that's what we do, isn't it or not? Freaking animals. Anyway, this means what the heck. This isn't a question mark shaped like a hand, okay? This means what the heck, and I'm being gentle. Italians are quite rude, okay? Right? So, it doesn't work. Now, what did Italians do when they saw that? They laughed a bit and they went, silly Americans, and everything moved on. Right? That's not what some other cultures will do. You will generate scandals, you will generate issues. If this game gets banned in Japan, hooray, it'll be brilliant, because that's what you deserve. Whatever the case may be, right? Rewriting the history is incredible to me. What in the heck are you doing? Right? Of course, the stories about espionage and secret sects and everything like that, and that's fine, right? But it's a work of fiction. Keep it a work of fiction. Now, another thing I want to touch on before I'm done. Jesus, can I ever make a short video? Apparently not. Okay, is I want to reconnect to what I said about the fact that large companies require large chains of approval before anything gets approved. I want the gaming audience to understand this. In Ubisoft, it's not 2 writers who are bad. It's the writers, the directors, and everything. The rot goes throughout the entire company. And their first reaction has immediately been to attack their own audience as well. Now, imagine what it's like to live and work inside such a field. If you are a normal person. Well, excuse me, abnormal by now, because they're everywhere, right? These people who are talentless, skillless, pointless, okay, infest the industry. Probably infest any industry, but this industry is bad. Really, really bad. Like when I entered the industry initially, this was 2007, I believe. Yeah, there was no HR department, man. You'd be there, have a chat, have a laugh. Boss would come out of the bathroom yelling, guys, I'd give it a minute. I've left longer streaks than the ones I've left on the A4. Bless him. It was funny. We had, there was I mean, I don't want to go into too much detail, but there was a whole wall at the top and it had the quotes from the people. So whenever you'd say something stupid, it would appear up there. So one of our colleagues, for example, one time said, she said, I don't believe in giraffes. And everybody in the office erupted in laughter. So we put that right there. We printed it and it was right there at the top. Right? I think I said something like, we were talking about football, and I said something like, if I were gay, I would fancy Roberto Baggio. I think that ended up on the wall as well. There was another one that was on the wall. There was, I remember his name. He said, well, I too would support Germany, you know, if I were German. That's funny on 50 levels. But we had that on the wall. It was a great place, right? And then I moved to different companies, etc. And all of a sudden, you get HR stuff. You get HR trainings. Right? Now I'm a rather rough person. I'm kind of difficult to get along with. I'm quite good at what I do, and I know it, which is not a good combo. So anyway, the fact remains that at some point, I had to go to HR. At some point, I was reported and I couldn't be told, no, but my boss couldn't tell me who did. So I had to do a whole HR training about what you do if a colleague is disrespectful to you. What do you do if A, B, C, D, and so on and so forth. And every answer that was correct would have been talk to your manager. You couldn't deal with anything like an adult. This is the world of video games right now. Best of luck, PooBeSoft, not going bottoms up. Shoot. Well, I gotta go. Bye.